Happy New Year's Eve and welcome to Behind the Music. It's hard for me to believe that we've already come to the end of another year, another kind of crazy year. If you had asked me last New Year's Eve if we would still be dealing with COVID and all of the effects of that, I don't think I could have anticipated. But here we are. We've finished another year. We've finished another year well, especially here at Victory. We're proud that we've been able to continue to have services, and I hope you were able to join us on Christmas Eve, either in person or online. It was just a great time to be together and celebrate the birth of the baby. So here we are, still in Christmastide, still singing these wonderful carols of the season, still thinking about this beautiful gift that's been given to us. And that's what gives us the confidence to look ahead to the new year, because sometimes it's with a bit of trepidation that we think about the unknown. There's a carol that is a new text written by David MacGregor. He wrote it in 2007, and he set it to an old carol tune. But the text that he wrote is all about letting go of the past and embracing the future. So I want to read you a couple lines from that carol. As the old year passes, we look back, reflect. Times of joy and promise, times we'd best forget. God of the ages, help us walk your way. Help us greet your future, seize tomorrow's day. As the new year dawns now, we would give you praise. Faithful God, come lead us onward in new ways. We'll love and serve you in the faith of Christ, in your Spirit's future, people of new life. I love that phrase, God of the ages, because even if we don't know what tomorrow holds, it's probably best that way. If someone had told me almost 2 years ago the 2-week lockdown isn't going to work, I don't know that I would have been mentally prepared to still be handling COVID now. God knows the end from the beginning, and we can just entrust that to Him, do the best that we can, make the New Year's resolutions if we want to, or just try and make healthier choices in our life, whatever works, and just trust God to handle the big stuff. That's comforting to me, that I don't have to try and handle it all myself. Now, the tune that MacGregor wrote this text to fit with is an old French carol. We sometimes refer to it as Noël, Nouvelet. And I'm sure you recognize it. It's in our hymnal, not as a Christmas hymn, but back in the Easter section. But let me play it for you. See if you recognize it. You recognize that, right? We would probably, if we're thinking about Christmas time, we would call it Sing We Now of Christmas. And we just heard that text as the new year passes. So it can be used with many different texts. The one in our hymnal is Now the Green Blade Rises, which is an Easter one. But it's just a really fun traditional French carol from the late 15th, early 16th century. And just a fun, really lively melody. And so I want to play part of an arrangement of that for you by the composer Matthew Carl. So he's kind of done a set of variations, even though they're through composed. It doesn't stop as such. Sometimes we think of variations as being segmented, but it kind of goes through a different progression of things. So let me play just the beginning for you so you can hear how it begins. Do you hear those fifths in the left hand? Kind of hearkening back maybe to its early genesis of when this began. So we have the fifths with the melody. And then he adds a pedal point, which to me, as we're thinking about all of this, is the God of the ages. We have this uncertainty. He's got some chromaticism going on, which kind of makes us all a little uncomfortable. But at the foundation of it all, we have this. It's very constant. No matter what, that's going to be there. We don't have to worry about that. The low C is there. and so on and so forth. So it's kind of changing keys. There's kind of uncertainty. We don't know where we're going, but we have that foundation in the pedal, which is kind of cool. I like it a lot. Now we get even some more chromaticism as we turn over to the next page. So what's going to happen? We're building anticipation of what's going to come. Now this has a very cool thing in it, that the melody is hidden in the figuration of the right hand. We have some fourths. Anytime you hear these fourths, but he's added passing notes in between. Isn't that cool? I love how it's constantly moving and then you hear the melody coming out over the top. Sing we now, as the old year passes, whatever word you have running through your head is coming out over the top. It continues to build and grow. There's a lot of momentum going on. We made it to the end, but there's more. It gets bigger. Then he goes into this thing that we would call a toccata, where we have really free part in their hands, kind of making this really fast figuration. Toccata literally just means toccata, like to touch, from the Italian toccare. So our fingers are just going fast and we're just touching the notes. And the melody is going to be in the pedal. So we need to add some more stops in the pedal. It says add reeds 16 and 8. So I'm adding a pizzano 16 and a trumpet 8 in the pedal because that's going to be our melody. And then our right hand is doing this figure pattern. Isn't that cool? Anytime we get to that sort of toccata-esque time, in whether it's a giant French organ symphony or some other piece like that, it's just very exciting. You know you're almost to the end because it's really, really cool. Almost to the end, like we're almost to the end of the year. All right, here we go. Let me play just a little bit more of that for you because it's just so fun. So as we say goodbye to 2021 and we welcome, perhaps with some hesitation, 2022 because we don't know what it holds, I hope you remember that there's a God of the ages who knows the end from the beginning. He's the Alpha and the Omega. We don't have to stress the big stuff. We can only handle what he allows us to handle. And I hope you get a chance to celebrate. I'm wearing my sparkly sweater because I'm excited to get to celebrate the end of the year and look forward to the new year. So the next time I see you will be in the new year. So I wish you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you next week.